Bath time!
With the start of Season 18, a new support hero has been added to Overwatch, Wuyang. And just like most support heroes, he can shoot, he can heal, but most importantly... And there are quite a lot of interesting details that you may or may not know about him. The name Wuyang literally translates to without ripples, which implies a peaceful state of mind. Just like all heroes, Wuyang comes with 4 blue skins, and they have their own special meaning. Green Bamboo, which stands for ability to endure hardship by bending without breaking. Thick dark ink, which is traditional black ink used in calligraphy and painting. White silk, for symbol of purity and clarity. Wisteria, which stands for wealth, honor, and success. The
Be still as a mountain and move like a great river.
voice line is a quote attributed to Laozi, a Chinese philosopher. The
长风破浪会有时，直挂云帆济沧海。
voice line is a poem by Li Bai, a Tang Dynasty poet and one of the most well-known and influential Chinese poets of all time. There is also this fun pink voice line that might be a reference to a quite old meme.
Get a load of this guy!
If we look at Wuyang's 3D model, we can take a measurement tool and see that his approximate height is somewhere around 168 centimeters, with shoes on, which puts him at around the same height as Kiriko and Mercy. If we look at the colors that are being used for his model, we'll see that a triad of blue, gold, yellow, and red are being used. Blue stands for calm, peace, and obviously water. Gold, as I suspect, is a prestige color for being part of the university he's part of. And red is a traditional color of good fortune in China. You can notice a lot of water element references on his hero model, such as water pattern on his torso, this jade amulet on his neck with simplified yin-yang design, as well as this water wave earring, and these water symbols on his palm and his uniform. Speaking of which, this hanging shirt you see on the back of his model is a water college uniform. I guess he just wants to show off his muscles. This little pouch you see is a lucky charm that translates to good health or well-being. The characters on the pouch sound similar to Wuyang's name, but they're not exactly the same, and that is because the second character of Wuyang's name means to ripple or to overflow. Wuyang's default stance might be a classic bring it on gesture that you might see being used in martial arts. His third-person idle animation is him spinning his staff. The first person, however, is just him slightly readjusting himself. There are 2 fun things you can do with his model. You can do a little dance by spamming reload and heal buttons. Also, I couldn't help myself and gave him a dance animation a bit early. Please enjoy. If you're not shooting and you have the high ground advantage, you can turn your camera a bit upwards, which will allow you to block headshots. And if you're on the same or lower elevation, you can use your arm from a primary fire to cover your head. While the majority of Overwatch heroes have a generic wave animation and iterations of it, Wuyang is one of the heroes who has a unique hello animation. This hand gesture is a Chinese martial arts salute called a Kung Fu salute. This gesture is done by making a fist with your right hand and placing it against your left open palm. During Wuyang's hero trial, Wuyang made a fist with his left hand rather than his right, which should only be used at the funerals to express commiserations. It was later fixed for the official release. There is a big difference between first and third person quick melee animations. In first person, he used his staff on his right hand to bonk his enemies, while in third person, he instead used his left fist to punch. Why was it done like this? Well, I can only assume that if we were to use his staff in third person, it will have to look something like this, where he extends his entire arm forward just like in the first person. And by seeing this, you might already guess what is wrong with this animation. It will look as if the quick melee has a much longer reach, which for gameplay reasons will look confusing for other players. But if you are wondering how the punch animation will look like in the first person, then here you go. But that is not the only small difference between first and third person. You may also notice that the way he holds his weapon and positions his hand is different as well. In first person, the arm is next to the staff, while in third person, his arm is in front of him. And yeah, I know, for gameplay reasons the first and third person are often going to look different. We can see that with other heroes as well. The reason you don't want a third person stance mimicking the first person is due to similarities between Mercy and Wuyang. Both heroes utilize a staff and have a beam based healing. If Wuyang had a similar stance as Mercy, the silhouettes will be mixed up. There are 2 animations for his water orb attack. If you're shooting an uncharged orb, his fingers will immediately go back to his staff. But when it comes to the empowered orb, you can see him briefly pausing before going back to his starting position. When your ammo count reaches somewhere around 8, you can start hearing a sound effect for low ammo. Which sounds like when you open a wine bottle, I think. Similar to Illari's healing, you can also hear a distinct sound when your healing resource is about to run out. And similar to Zenyatta, there's a sound effect for whenever your restorative stream is removed from your teammate. Interestingly enough, if you place your restorative stream on an ally, everybody, including the enemies, can hear it through walls. With a radius of about 40 meters. So keep that in mind, because there might be players who have advanced headphones. So whenever you decide to go for a sneaky play with your duo partner, expect the unexpected. Hammer down! There is also a really neat detail with his footsteps. Listen to these footsteps for a moment. Sounds like regular footsteps you'd hear from wearing sneakers, right? However, after using your rushing torrent ability, you can now hear that his sneakers are now wet. But just for a couple of seconds. As you may have probably noticed, Wuyang's gameplay is a bit of a mix of Ana, Illari, Mercy, and Zenyatta. Wuyang is the second hero who is able to amplify healing of multiple teammates with his Guardian Wave, similar to Ana's biotic name. His primary healing comes from his staff, which attaches a healing beam, similar to Mercy, but is an unlimited resource, same as Illari. And his restorative stream sticks to your teammate for as long as they stay alive and in your line of sight, just like Zenyatta. You're able to control a water orb for 2.5 seconds, which is about 70 meters. The maximum possible distance that an uncharged orb can go is about 130 meters. And 210 for empowered orb. Which means you can do spawn lineups at the start of a round. You can do a King's Row lineup by getting into this corner and line up your crosshair with this corner of a gate. Or in this spot on Eichenwald. Again, get yourself stuck and line up this UI element with the bottom of the building window. There is also an interesting sound effect that you can hear if you make a sharp turn while the orb is under your control. The distance between your staff healing and your target is maximum of 20 meters. However, after linking your beam with the teammate, you're able to heal them from 22 meters instead. You also don't have to look at them while healing. Whenever your heal target has amplified healing buff, you can see it on this UI element. Same goes for anti-healing. Also, as of recording this video, your teammates see Zenyatta's healing orb whenever they receive healing from restorative stream. When you're using Rushing Torrent ability, you can go as far as 40 meters. However, if you combine it with jumping, then it can take you about 10 meters further. During this ability, you automatically slide onto props that you would normally have to jump on. But be careful when it comes to certain tight windows, as you may get stuck in some of them. There is also a very niche technique that you can do with this ability. If there's an enemy hero close and in front of you, you can use that hero to perform a high jump, similar to the one that Moira has. But there's a second method to this tech. If you tap your jump button and press the ability button immediately after, you will jump, dash forward, which then puts you on top of them, allowing you to jump again. Here are some examples. When it comes to using Guardian Wave, you can actually be a bit sneaky with it and use it from the high ground where nobody can see you. And this can be used in some very niche situations, like booping an enemy off the map. However, the knockback distance is directly correlated with how far you are from your target. While using this ability, you also gain increased gravity in case you want to fall down a bit quicker. Just make sure you don't use it during a Sigma Flux or Zarya's Graviton Surge, otherwise you'll be stuck in this animation for the duration of an ult. You can also, technically speaking, clear Wrecking Ball's minefield. However, you'll have to be very close to them to guarantee a one-shot on the ones that are close to you. But if you have a Mercy on your team, you should ask her for a damage boost to help you mop the floor. You can also ask Ana for another boost, but is it really worth it? I don't know, you tell me. If you're a bit ADHD and love music, then you can use Wuyang's ultimate and spam this absolute of a banger tune. Just be sure you don't accidentally bubble your teammate. Technically speaking, you're able to reveal whether or not you have your ultimate ready to the enemy team, due to your standby animation being visible to everybody else. Also, there is a possibility of you Ajaxing this ultimate on your teammate.
Reverse the tide!
Now imagine if you are playing Wuyang and Ana and you both decide to use your respective ultimates on a single teammate. Yep, that can also happen. Also, just like Ana and her nano boost,
you're powered up. Get in there.
the receiving target of Wuyang's ultimate hears a completely different ultimate line.
The tide is with you! Dive in!
Okay, so let's talk about some fun stuff and concepts that I came up with for Wuyang. Did you know that despite being a water-based hero who, well, supposed to control water, is not able to ride water that you see on maps, like here on Rialto? Obviously, it will be quite overpowered if he had an ability to be immune to water-based environmental death zones. So I came up with a concept that allows him to stay on top of it during his rushing torrent ability. Why, you may ask? Well, I don't know, I just think it will be funny. There are 3 heroes who can deal fire-based damage in the game. And no, we do not count perks. I'm sorry, Liari. So when those heroes set you or your teammates on fire, your Guardian Wave doesn't do anything. So how about changing that and make it so that this ability can now cleanse fire-based abilities? Maybe to make it a bit more fair, we can put it as a bonus to one of the currently existing perks. Let me know what you think about this. It can also be quite confusing to navigate your orb around the corners or whenever it is out of your view. So I thought it would be a nice to have option where you can see your orb through walls. If you've been watching my videos for some time now, you probably know that I love doing UI related stuff. When I play Wuyang, I sometimes have to scream at my teammates to go in with the bubble I just gave them. So it will make more sense to have a UI element on the screen that shows you the icon and the duration of his Tidal Blast ultimate.
The tide is with you! Dive in!
And yes, using it on yourself also shows it. Also, Wuyang can't fish at the Antarctic Peninsula minus his melee. Please fix this, thank you. And that wraps it up for Wuyang. Let me know if I missed anything or accidentally spread any misinformation. Special thanks to Lionel for all the Chinese culture related trivia and to my YouTube members for supporting my channel. Thank you for watching and I shall see you in the next one.